On my previous video I talked about the lowering the threshold thing that DICE is doing. I talked about the suppression effect, what I don't like about it, the things that could be done to tweak it so that it's not overpowered and actually makes it takes its place on teamwork based gameplay. And today I'm going to talk about the good things I like about the patch, especially the user interface ones. The minimap is great now, you can choose 3 types. I'm using hybrid system, which is awesome, really nice. I'm using the map with much more accuracy now. I know exactly where the enemies are when they are spotted on the minimap. I know exactly where my teammates are. It's really useful. Thanks for that. The squad menu is also much more intuitive now. Instead of leaving a squad and then join another one, you can click join and it will automatically leave the previous squad and join the new one. That's really intuitive, just like Bad Company 2 was, and yeah, it's great. Thanks for that as well. Creating squads is also a good idea, because sometimes you would join a server, especially the ones with 64 players. You would join a server and actually see there was no room for you on any squad, because most of them were full, and the squads that weren't full were locked, so you couldn't join. You were forced to play as a lone wolf, basically. And now that doesn't happen, so it's also great job on that part. I can finally see my own ping now. Thanks for that as well. It's really nice. The Mᴏᴏ is better, definitely better, but it still has some flaws. You shouldn't have delay when choosing the commands. Also, there's missing some text chat when you use the commands on the Mᴏᴏ. There's always, when you're zooming in and you access the Mᴏᴏ, the weapon automatically zooms out. So you should fix that. But it's much better now. Good job. The icons showing on the minimap are also a good idea. It's much more clear now. Even though these are great additions, these additions should have come with the game on release 4 months ago. But anyways, it's great to have them now. It's really awesome that you've been adding all these great things. And the jeeps have horns now. Yeah, nice job. I can already imagine trolling the battlefields with that. Really great. Some other thing I was talking about on my previous video was how DICE was lowering the threshold and making the game more accessible, but on reality they were dumbing down the game, because the things they've been doing, the features they've been adding, they do not encourage players to play better. They do things for them, which is a completely different thing. And since I criticize DICE on that way, I would also like to give some of my own suggestions so that they encourage teamwork and encourage players to play better instead of giving them crunches, making them even dumber. I think DICE must think like this, like what problems does a new Battlefield player faces, a newcomer to the Battlefield title, which challenges are worse for him, things he has more trouble with. Well, I guess that the most important thing that I should make sure is that the new players must know what are the main goals, the objective of each map. We have Rush. The 2 main modes are Conquest and then Rush. And players should know the goal on Conquest, that they have various points on the map that they need to conquer, and they don't just need to know they have to conquer those flags. They need to know why. They have to conquer flags so that they don't have ticket bleed. And what the hell is ticket bleed? They need to know what a ticket is. You should explain that ticket is basically the number of lives the entire team has, and that those lives bleed out if your team doesn't hold more flags than the other one. So basically both teams have to be conquering flags all the time and making sure that those flags stay on their side so that they don't have ticket bleed, and that the bleed happens on the other team, and once they run out of lives, your team will win the map. So that's why players need to conquer flags and make sure those flags remain theirs. Also, newer players, for example, should be awarded more points than more experienced ones. For example, if a player has only 5 hours of Battlefield 3 and his squad mate, for example, has, I don't know, 100 hours, they're both conquering a flag, but the guy with less time should earn more points. Okay, because that in that way you're not dumbing down the game, you're not making things easier for them, you're encouraging them to play the objective from the ground up. Okay, one of the most things they should care about is playing the objective. Because with all the crunches you've been adding, you have been making sure that, as the other guy said, teamwork is not important, when in fact it is. That's what makes Battlefield, you know. That's why people love it so much. Teamwork is in fact essential. Even though you're the Chuck Norris, Rambo, Van Damme guy and you kill everyone, you still depend on your team nonetheless. So this is why you need to make sure that your players, the new players, start the first thing they care about is team play. So they should be awarded more points for playing the objective, like arming an MCOM. They should earn more points, defusing, spotting. I mean, every point system in the game should award more points to players with less hours, so that they evolve faster, they get unlocks faster, and so on. That's how you promote team play without dumbing down a game. Also, you should explain that arming and defusing MCOMs, it's really important. When someone is arming the MCOM, you should cover the guy. When someone is defusing, you should do it as well. One of the basic things you should also encourage players to do is to join a squad. And as you all know, joining a squad, it's not important. I mean, you have lots of players in squads that they are completely useless. They just join squads so that they have better spawn points. And you shouldn't encourage that from the start. You should encourage players to join a squad and actually read what's happening. Like, if the squad has already 3 medics, you shouldn't go as a medic as well. You should go on some other class to make the squad stronger. For example, support, because eventually they'll run out of bullets. It's really important. Or as a sniper, you should play as a sniper, stay a little far behind and give spots to your squad. You know, stuff like that. You should encourage them to do so. Especially explaining why it's important to stick on the squad. For example, when you help your squad, you earn more points, so you have unlocks faster. Also, one of the main problems newcomers face is killing the enemies. Most of them don't know how to kill and can't kill. That's why you add crutches, random deviation, audio spot, and stuff like that. But instead of making the game easier for them, playing for them, you should make it more accessible. For example, instead of unlocking attachments by only killing enemies, players, newcomers especially, should also be able to unlock attachments by completing certain challenges throughout the entire round. For example, you can assign random challenges for new players or for even for experienced players, like in a round do 20 revives and receive a silencer for a specific weapon, or in a round resupply 500 bullets to your squad or your team and unlock a bipod or something like that. You know, players should be able to unlock attachments also by helping their team, not only by killing adversaries, because if that's the only way and they can't do it, they will never have attachments. And then again, you need to dumb down the game so that they can kill with bad weapons, you know, or with weapons without attachments or perks. So this is really important. You should find a way to reward players with attachments without having to kill enemies. They will work on that later when they have better loadouts to do so. You should also explain and make tutorials explaining that sticking on the center of the map is usually a bad idea unless you have a vehicle, because if you take the flanks, you'll be able to pick up enemies more easily, and you will also give better spawn points to your fallen teammates. This is really important, guys, and I don't see you making tutorials explaining players how to play. I see you giving them crunches so they don't have to worry about it, and even though they are bad players and they're not helping their team at all, they earn lots of points and they stay on top of the scoreboard at the end of the round, and that's bad. Okay, they can stay on top of the score at the end of the round as long as they promote teamwork and help their team win the round. That's just it. That's the thing you should focus. That way you encourage them again to play the objective and rewarding them to do so, and also training them to play better, to aim better, to have better positional awareness and stuff like that. Instead of dumbing down the game with audio spot and random deviation, you are actually promoting skill-based gameplay from the ground up, and that's one of the things you should focus. Anyways, these were just some ideas I've been wanting to share with you guys. I hope this message gets through to someone that can implement this, or I don't know, whatever. Just throwing things on the air here, because I want to see a true Battlefield title and not a dumbing down experience for random noobs to feel happy about it, even though they're not doing anything special. That's all, guys. Cheers.